Welcome back, everyone, to the High Tempo Sports Podcast, episode 109. Today, we are back to finish off our position rankings we've been doing. If you haven't checked out any of our previous episodes on that, go check them out. If not, you can go to our TikTok and check it out. It's been doing pretty well lately.
Yeah, if you haven't already seen it.
Yeah,
no,
if you haven't, like... we've been posting like our top 10 shooting guards, small forwards, blah, 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 all on TikTok. And today we are finishing it up with point guards.
Yeah, and we're going to keep posting little clips now from the podcast. You know how well those doing. It might help grow and have some fun.
Hopefully. If you're a new listener coming from TikTok, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Shout out
that's
to you.
super cool.
Because we do a lot more than just the top 10 point guards. We'll talk about a lot of NFL stuff, college football. Once college basketball starts, we are huge college basketball guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So. We talk about anything big that's happening in sports, too.
Yeah, except for golf.
Yeah, like we don't care about the DeChambeau and who's he's got a rivalry with somebody.
Yeah, Brooks.
Yeah, Brooks. Yeah. We don't care.
Yeah, exactly. But we will get to that towards the end of the episode. We are going to talk about college football a little bit and obviously do our weekly picks. But let's start off talking about some NBA news that isn't our top 10 point guards. NBA Media Day was 2 days ago on Monday, and it was the first time we got to see a lot of new players and their new uniforms, and we got to just see a lot of press conferences with several different players. Mm-hmm. The vaccine was like the main topic of discussion.
Yep.
And Ben Simmons was like the other main topic of discussion.
Hopefully. I really hope this is the last time we have to talk about Ben Simmons extensively.
We are going to, I do want to do a little Ben Simmons segment because I would, a good amount of stuff has happened with Ben Simmons that we haven't really talked about. Mm-hmm. But yeah, any like specific NBA Media Day, like Joel Embiid, the funny comments he made about, he made like a couple funny comments about the Steph and Clay thing and then about how we've all seen the videos of Ben Simmons.
Exactly.
Like,
we're waiting on it
funny.
in a game.
He's funny, but it's like, it might not be the time to make a joke like that.
I don't think Ben Simmons appreciates that in LA, listening to that.
He probably doesn't care, honestly.
Yeah, and I doubt him and Joel have beef. Like,
Simmons just came out and said he doesn't want to play with Joel Embiid anymore. So, like,
oh, did he?
Yeah, like 2 days ago. He just keeps coming out with new stuff that it's like, all right,
get rid of him.
We already know you don't want to be on the team.
But do you think he means that, or do you think he's saying that?
I didn't see the exact quote. Like, I don't know if he literally just said, or if it was more of like somebody asked him, "Do you want to play with Embiid?" And he just was like, "Nah,
I don't want to play with anybody."
Yeah, that's probably what he said, and then the media flipped it because
I feel like Joel would have said something a little more mean if he disliked Ben. Like, he was just joking around. Like, Ben Simmons was going to be back eventually.
Well, and the big news was. Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, and Matisse Thybulle were supposed to fly out to L.A. Last week to pretty much meet with Ben Simmons and just talk to him pretty much. It wasn't even like they just wanted to speak with him.
Yeah, it was like the DeAndre Jordan.
Kind of, but like it was mainly just them three guys.
Like, let's go meet him.
And Ben Simmons just like, nah. Like, don't come. Like, do not come. It's not worth your time. And that was pretty much it. So it's like, it's pretty clear here that he's not going to attend training camp. He didn't attend media day. He's gonna be fined heavily. But let's talk about some other media day things. Did you see the Pistons media day?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see all of it.
Did you see him like do those little chalkboard things?
Yes, dude, that was awesome. That was Frank and Jeremy are best friends. Yeah,
pretty much everyone said everyone is their best friend, and then them two just said each other.
And I think Josh Jackson said a weird one.
He said, because everyone was like, everyone at the bottom it said like, my goal for this year is to and then pretty much everyone said win. Corey Joseph said like lead or something. He said something like that, or no, let's get the fans back in the building.
Yeah.
And then Josh Jackson says learn how to cook.
Yeah. Like, what does that mean?
Whatever, Josh. Like, I guess you don't want to win. Whatever.
Josh,
at least he's not doing your cliche answer though. At least he did think of something.
I wish the rest of them wanted to.
Maybe he actually wants to learn how to cook.
Yeah, and what does he mean by learn how to cook? Like cook hoopers or like cook a steak? Like,
yeah, true.
I have no idea what he means.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
That is very true.
I wish the rest of them did that. But I love seeing that like everybody was like, everyone's my best friend. And Frank and Jeremy were like, no, I don't like everybody as much as we like each other. And they're guarding each other in practice, and the Pistons are posting it, best friends.
Sadiq looks cold as hell. Like he looks like a completely transformed player already from last year.
The second year picture was dope with Saban, Beef Stew, Killian, and Sadiq. That was dope. That's
still
the future.
Seeing Cade in the Pistons jersey is still just like, I just love it. It's like
Dude,
it's still just like
wrong.
I mean, obviously it's hit me that he's on the Pistons, but it's just like, damn, that's so cool. Like that actually happened.
You see, he was listed at 6'6" again.
Yeah,
it sucks.
I mean, he didn't look 6'8" on the court. Like,
absolutely. Like we watched him.
Small, but he definitely was like, oh, he's really not like crazy tall.
He looked way bigger in college though.
Yeah,
like he looked huge.
Yeah,
in college.
he did look 6'8", but there's also he had 6 foot dudes guarding him. So
exactly.
Other like media day stuff. I mean, Klay Thompson. It was nice to see him back in uniform. We got to see the new Bulls looks. I'm trying to think if anything other like substantial happened.
Yeah, a lot of vaccine talk, which I feel bad for the players that they even have to deal with it.
I mean, it's a very personal subject, you know, and just it's the first question that gets asked.
Are you vaccinated?
For everyone, and it's just, and I respect the players that are just saying, you know, that's private, even whether they are or not vaccinated.
John Isaac had a crazy good answer.
Yeah, he had a very good
he articulated
response as
very well.
And I think 90% of the NBA is vaccinated, which is great. I mean, that is like, but it just sucks that the reporters only focus on the 10% that aren't.
Can we focus on the part that we love, basketball?
Yeah, exactly.
Like we don't love vaccines or vaccinations. Not saying that we hate them, but like we love basketball. They're there because we love basketball.
And that's why we should be asking these players about is basketball.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving couldn't attend media day because of his vaccination status and the rules that are in New York. But we'll see what happens with that. Andrew Wiggins, is he going to get traded? Well, he can't play in home games.
Neither can Kyrie.
Yeah, but I think Kyrie's going to get it, though. Because I think he said something about they're going to figure out a way for him to play, whether that means he's just going to get the vaccine or what.
Yeah, like I feel like him in his head figuring out is my name's Kyrie Irving and I have to play. Like they have to let me.
Yeah.
But like I don't think the NBA is going to do that. Because he said
something about I'm not going to be a distraction to the team. So like that to me means all right, I'm going to just man up. I don't know.
That's the most bullshit thing I've ever heard. Kyrie's a distraction on every team.
Okay, but I don't think he wants to be, at least anymore. I don't know. Because he was last year.
He's been a distraction for 5 years.
Yeah, he was such a distraction last year.
Since he left Cleveland.
But yeah, Wiggins, because you can't play in home games unless you have the vaccine in San Francisco. And Wiggins tried to get cleared by the NBA, and they're just like, no.
Yeah.
So, or no, it wasn't the NBA that said no. It was
San Francisco.
It was the city. Yeah, they said no. So, I mean, maybe
Warriors
he gets traded, like, because he can't play in half the games. Like,
and like, it sucks that it has to be that way, and it is that way. But like, I don't even know what to say about it, but it just blows. Like, I feel awful for Andrew Wiggins that like this is a huge decision in life that he doesn't really deserve to have to make. And like, isn't it that way for most California cities?
But at the same time, it's just I think it is. Yeah, I think LA is like that too.
So he has to miss a couple LA games. But at the same time,
when you're Wiggins, it's just like, dude, I don't know. It's hard. It's difficult because we're not NBA players. You know, like so it makes it, and it's everyone's mindset is different. So I don't know. We'll see what ends.
Speak for everybody.
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening with that situation. But let's talk about Ben Simmons. Mm-hmm. So Ben Simmons has made it very clear he will not play for the Sixers again. I don't think he will play for the Sixers again.
I'll never put on a jersey.
But he's going to continuously get fined, and I wonder if it will ever reach a point where it's because the Sixers could just not trade him.
Just keep fining him.
It's a bad idea because his value will just continuously go down. But do you think there's a world where Simmons literally doesn't play this year and just like this, they don't trade him until next year?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're going to fine the hell out of him. The Sixers want to fix this is the thing, but they've already dug themselves in such a hole. This is an unfixable problem. Ben Simmons has not helped the problem.
The only way it can get fixed is by trading him.
Yes, you have to trade him, but there is a world absolutely where the Sixers and Daryl Morey he's not going to trade him for 3 role players. And that's all, I guarantee every team in the league is like, yeah, you can have Josh Okogie. Like,
exactly, and that's the thing. If there was a deal for Ben Simmons on the table that Morey liked, it'd have been done by now.
Yep.
So that means clearly every other team is like, we don't want to offer him something big time because
they screwed themselves.
They could probably they could probably trade for less for him just because his value is so in question right now. What I wanted to talk about was a few, like, this is probably like a week ago, when the whole Ben Simmons talk was going down, and it was brought up that Denver is a sleeper.
Yes, dude.
A sleeper to get Ben Simmons. So I was just thinking about it, like, I was thinking about this in a money aspect, contract aspect, because you're probably either trading Michael Porter Jr. / Jamal Murray to the Nuggets if you want to get Simmons, or to the Sixers. And that doesn't really make sense for Denver right now, unless you're trading Murray, I guess, because he's hurt. But that still doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, and you probably have to get rid of Aaron Gordon.
Do you think there's a world where they trade for Ben Simmons without giving up Murray or Porter? Because I wrote down contract numbers to make. So this is what a trade would probably look like. Simmons is making $33 million next season. Right now, guys who are making bigger money for them, Will Barton, $15 million. Aaron Gordon is making $16 million, but his huge extension he got is kicking in next year. And then Monte Morris is making $8 million. JaMychal Green is making $8 million. So, I mean, three of those guys. I mean, do you think an Aaron Gordon, Barton, Monte Morris package is like a realistic package?
It's no.
Because you are getting depth if you're Philly in this. Yeah. And it's better than just having Simmons not play.
Is it realistic, like in any other situation, if there weren't issues going on?
Right.
Obviously, that trade's never going through. That could be the best trade offer that's on the table. Every team,
we don't even know if it is on the table, though.
Yeah, exactly. Every team is looking at the Sixers going, why should we help them get out of their shitty situation?
Right.
When we can just offer them garbage, and what are they going to say?
And at some point, they might accept it, yeah.
Well, they have to at some point, or else they're literally just wasting a whole year of Joel Embiid, which we don't even know how many we have.
Right.
He's injured every year. Actually, last year he wasn't injured that much.
Yeah, but he still got hurt at the end. At the end of the year, he did get hurt.
Yeah, and it's super you got to capitalize on what you have, and all the teams in the league are like, no, screw y'all. Like y'all messed it. Doc Rivers, you messed it up. Yeah. Daryl Morey, you messed it up. Doc Rivers, as much as he's supposed to be a player coach, he's horrible at it. None of his players like him. I don't get the whole.
Yeah, and the Clippers too. No one really seemed to.
And he's got one chip with 4 super teams.
Yeah,
I don't really get. Doc Rivers, I think, is an overrated coach.
Yeah, it's definitely not a bad take at all.
Boom, off topic.
But I don't know, Denver. I mean, it's not a bad package. They would have to wait on 60 days after Aaron Gordon signed his extension to make this deal. But Denver is giving up depth. But I mean, if they do this trade, it would be unreal. Because,
be awesome.
Monte Morris would, I think, honestly, do have a much larger role in Philly, and I think Monte Morris is pretty underrated. I think he could end up being if he went to another team where he wasn't the backup, I think he would be a pretty good point guard. Aaron Gordon next to Joel Embiid, I like that.
That works.
But it's just Ben Simmons we know what he's capable of. Obviously, Ben Simmons is getting all this shit talked about him. He sucks, but we still know what he's capable of doing.
Okay, so I want to elaborate on that because we've never really discussed what do you mean? What do we mean when we say that? When I say what Ben Simmons is capable of, I mean that I still believe at some point in his career he can be a top 15 player in the league. Do you think the same?
I don't know anymore, just because after this whole situation, previous to last year or to this, yeah, I would have said yes.
Okay.
But now I don't really know, just because maybe top 30, I would say, is but
I really hope.
He probably was in the top 30 at one point. I mean, I guess you could probably say top 20, 25, but I don't know. Now things are a lot different, so it would just depend. I do think wherever Simmons goes, he's going to flourish. I mean,
my God, why
wherever
not?
he goes, he's going to go off, I think, especially just as a big FU to the Sixers. But also, I just think that I think he's going to be motivated to play his best basketball. And I mean, I would assume he is after this whole situation.
I really hope whatever city ends up getting him is extremely receptive. I want them to open up and be like, yeah,
I could so see it not being like that.
If he goes to Portland, I feel like they're going to hate him in
Probably.
Portland. That is an awful place. But no, I really do. I think it is strictly situational that Ben Simmons is awful these days. I think people are just
and I think Simmons with a real point guard, it would just take if
he's a power forward.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine if I just want to see what it's like if he played with a true really great point guard. If he played with Denver. I mean, playing with Jokic and Murray and Porter, I think he would be nice. I think that would be a nice fit. You still have, you'd have to trade Will Barton, but you'd have, who'd be their shooting guard? They'd have Campazzo coming off the bench. They got Jeff Green.
You never want Campazzo.
Who the hell would be their shooting guard? PJ Dozier?
Oh my God.
Austin Rivers, they still have.
You could do.
He might
Austin
be in a
Rivers.
trade though, because he's a good role player, so they might trade him to
Doc's his
Philly.
dad.
True, yeah.
You know what team I would love to see him on?
What?
That I've never discussed, but they have the most assets in the whole league. The Hawks.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say. I mean, the OKC probably has the most assets.
Yeah. Picks
yeah, the
wise.
Hawks would be cool.
Trae Young and Ben
Who
Simmons.
are you trading for him?
John Collins.
Okay, I was gonna say because I don't know about Collins and Simmons, but
That's
yeah,
like
if you are trading Collins, then yeah.
I think.
But I don't see that happening just because they literally
love Collins,
played against
too.
each other too in the previous series, and
But again,
another team
when
that
they
has-
did that, Ben Simmons was playing point guard, not power. Like I want to see him play power forward.
Another team that has been rumored in Ben Simmons talks is the Minnesota Timberwolves. A lot of weird stuff has been going on in the Timberwolves front office. Gerson Rosas, their previous general manager, was let go from the team. He's a very well-known GM. Him and Daryl Morey are really good friends, but he had an affair with some lady that worked in the Timberwolves front office, and it made everyone uncomfortable. But they said that wasn't the reason why they fired him. Yes, it was.
Yeah,
bro.
you can just
why
say
even
it.
come out and say? They said that it pretty much was like they wanted to fire him,
Nailed
and
the
this
coffin.
was like, all right, now we have an actual reason to.
Yep.
Well,
wasn't Cat like a huge fan of him?
yeah, I mean, he was a very a lot of the players really liked him, and he did try to make moves to make. I mean, he pulled off the Jimmy Butler deal. He made the D'Angelo Russell trade. He definitely has made attempts to get Minnesota
absolutely
back into contention. But Minnesota has been rumored in trade talks, and here's another contract question. Do you think that they can pull off a trade for Simmons without trading D'Angelo Russell? Because if you do, you have a nice big four of D'Lo, Ant, Simmons, and Cat. I mean, that's really nice. So money-wise for them, Simmons is making $33 million, and you would have 3 max contracts on the books if you're Minnesota, which would be tough.
I can't believe D'Lo makes a max.
But, yeah, he makes $30 million next year.
It's just bad.
Malik Beasley would probably be the best player going back to Philly in this trade. He's making $14 million. Pat Beverly is making $14. I think acquiring him was a huge pickup for Minnesota because he's making a good amount of money, and he's a player that a contending team would want, especially a team like Philly. Ricky Rubio is making $17 million. So there's at least $30 million right there. And then other players that are good, I guess you could throw in. Josh Okogie's only making $4 million. Jaden McDaniels, who was a pretty promising rookie last year, is only making $2 million. So there's a younger player you could throw in the deal. But that's pretty much it.
Do they have all their money wrapped up into 7 guys?
Yeah,
they haven't even paid Ant yet.
Yeah, I mean, Ant still just because he was the first overall pick, he's probably making at least $10 million.
But Rubio, D'Lo, Cat, who's the other guy you said? Pat Bev, and Malik Beasley.
Yeah.
Make a lot of money.
And
those
the rest of their
5
guys are making $3 or $4 million.
No, and I could see Malik Beasley and Pat Bev working really well in the Sixers.
But is that enough for Simmons, though?
No.
Okay, what deal's better? Beasley, Beverly, Rubio, and one of them guys, and let's just assume there's 1 or 2 picks in both of these trades, or Aaron Gordon, Barton, Monte Morris, and picks. I think the Denver deal,
easily.
Yeah. That deal would be actually a pretty good return for Philly, I think.
No, I think that's a great return for Philly, for Ben Simmons.
But I don't think they would ever do a trade with them not getting Murray or Porter.
Yeah, and they definitely want CJ McCollum or an all-star caliber player, and they're not getting that.
Yeah.
Aaron Gordon is not an all. He's a good player.
He's a very good player, and I think he would be really nice next to Embiid, I think.
Man, Patrick Beverly in Philly, he
fits that.
He fits Philly. The Philly fans would love him.
They would love him and also hate him,
Yeah,
though.
facts.
They would go off on him if he sucked.
They love and hate every player that's ever played for them.
It's kind of cool. But, okay, so let's do a when and where. When and where will Ben Simmons get traded?
When?
I guess you might want to do the where first, I guess. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
I don't know about where. Where is way
if you just
harder
had
for
to,
me.
you had to make your final pick, since this is the last time we're talking about him until he is traded, unless something else wild happens.
Yeah, which it will.
Yeah. But when and where?
I'm going to say he's going to the Warriors, okay? And I'm going to say 4 weeks into the season. The Sixers are going to be kind of oh, shit, we probably need to get on it. We probably need to move him. And boom, Andrew Wiggins and...
either Moody or Kuminga, probably.
And that's a great return.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know if you're throwing Wiseman in there, but...
You can't. But you can definitely get a deal done with Moody.
Maybe Jordan Poole. Maybe they would
Andrew
want
Wiggins.
him because they wouldn't really get a guard in return though, which is
I
kind
mean,
of what they
Tyrese
want.
Maxey.
Yeah, but that's it.
He can step up and play 48 minutes a game.
You probably want to get another. You probably want to get another guard.
He could probably jump into the 40 minutes a game range.
My when and where with Ben Simmons. There's a few sleeper teams I think that could sneak in and get, because I feel like he's gonna end up going to a sleeper team, a team that we're not really thinking about. Like Memphis, I feel like is a team that might.
Toronto.
OKC, maybe Toronto. That's a good one. But I'm gonna go. I think he will end up getting traded to Minnesota. I think that is, they have new management now. Maybe they're destined to get Ben Simmons. I think that they might as well pull some sort of deal off.
You got to
especially if you can do it without giving up D'Lo. And then when, I'm going to say, I like your 4 weeks prediction. I'm going to go like 2 months into the year. I think it will.
8 weeks.
I think Philly's going to start playing and not be that good and realize, okay, we need to just at least get some more players on this roster.
Yeah, exactly. We need another point guard.
But I could see it. I could see Simmons sitting out this entire year and them not making a trade. Like, that is a super realistic option.
Absolutely. Minnesota. So, remember how weird the cat debate we had about Karl-Anthony Towns?
Yeah.
Did you see what through the wire? One of the dudes had him at 6.
Yeah, I did see that.
Whoa.
Yeah, P had him at 6.
Whoa.
I know, that was surprising.
That was ballsy.
They had Vucevic pretty high, I'm pretty sure.
I didn't realize how bad Cat's situation was and how, I couldn't imagine. I thought the Timberwolves or the Pistons were. I mean, the Pistons management was bad until the last 2 years. But Minnesota's is just as bad.
Yeah.
4 head coaches since Cat's been there.
Yeah, at least the Pistons. I mean, the Pistons hasn't been bad. They've just been average.
Yeah. But Minnesota's been horrible since Kevin Garnett left.
And they've had a lot of, superstar caliber players. The Pistons have not.
Yeah.
Since we've watched the Pistons, they have never. The Pistons, honestly, have never even had one. Isaiah Thomas is, it. They've never really had, a superstar.
Oh, yeah.
Their whole franchise.
Yeah, is Ben Walsh a superstar?
Not really. I mean, he was a superstar defender.
I think that's enough.
But, that's like saying Rudy Gobert is a superstar.
Yeah, you're right.
Is he?
He's not.
No,
yeah,
right?
Hell no. Hell no.
But,
third best
they've
center
never
in the
really,
league, though.
they've had Cat, Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Love,
yeah, I completely forgot about him.
3 first overall picks.
Yeah, Wiggins at one point he was the next Kobe. I mean, he was the Maple Kobe or whatever.
What did they Maple Mamba?
Yeah, that's what it was.
And Edward. Now they've got
Jimmy Butler was on their team. They traded for D'Angelo Russell. Now they've had Anthony Edwards, and I think Anthony Edwards could probably become a superstar.
Everybody forgets how good Pekovic was. That dude was good. He was good. I liked watching Pekovic.
Rubio the first time on the Timberwolves.
Rubio. Man, that Kevin Love team was low-key kind of fun because Kevin Love was awesome.
Johnny Flynn.
Oh, my. They missed on Steph Curry. They just missed on that twice.
All right, let's move on, though.
Done with Ben Simmons.
College football talk. This is not too long of a topic just because it wasn't that big of a week. Michigan, they won. Who'd they play again?
Rutgers,
yeah.
Well,
They almost lost.
Yeah,
what the hell?
Cade had 68 passing yards or something like that. Put JJ, I'm done complaining about Cade McNamara.
He also hasn't thrown an interception.
Yeah, but he's thrown
becoming quarterback
16 times a game.
Yeah.
Please put JJ in.
He's has the second highest passer rating in college football just because he has literally never thrown an interception in college.
And
which is pretty crazy.
Doesn't throw the ball more than 20 yards. Oh my, I can't even talk about Michigan football. State won.
Yeah, State won in a pretty
awesome
intense game against Nebraska, defensive-minded game. It was an ugly game for State, but they pulled it out and won. They're taking on Western Kentucky this weekend. I will be there. Michigan is taking on Wisconsin, which Wisconsin got absolutely murked by Notre Dame, and they are now 1-2 or 2-2. So they're gonna. I don't know. I mean, Michigan. This is a game they should win because Wisconsin early 2 losses, but maybe that gives Wisconsin a chip on their shoulder to come out and win this game. But they are both 4-0. Michigan is up to number 14 in the power rankings. MSU is at 17. Ohio State fell one more to 11.
Clemson lost this week.
Yeah, Clemson, they lost against North Carolina State. Yeah, NC State. Yeah, because I was in South Carolina, right? Clemson is in South Carolina. Yeah. Yep. We're in this restaurant, and they had the game on TV, and there's just Clemson fans, everywhere.
All orange.
And NC State had an opportunity to win the game. It was tied, and it was a field goal to win the game. and he should have made it. I mean, they ended up winning, so it doesn't matter. But he missed the field goal, and the whole place went nuts. Like, everyone was freaking out. Like, let's go. It's like, dude, you are about to get upset. Like, why are you upset? You should just be like, phew.
Yeah, exactly.
And they ended up losing. We left before they ended up losing, but
Clemson fans probably see the writing on the wall. Like, they probably know that they're not that great this year.
Like, it's the dynasties can only last so long unless you're Alabama. Like,
yeah, or have multiple.
And even Alabama has years where they they're still good, obviously, but they're not the best team in college football.
They'll still make the college football playoff. They'll just lose the title game.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what happens on a down year for Bama.
And then Arkansas beats Texas A&M. They are in the top 10, which is like they've always been a very average football program. So it's cool to see them. They take on Georgia this week. So number 2 versus number 9. That's going to be a huge game.
Wasn't there something that happened in Oklahoma?
Like
didn't they? Weren't they like the
they
fans
didn't lose, but
chanting like bench,
they chanted
like bench Rattler or something.
Yeah,
dude.
something
that
like
is
that.
Wild.
They're number 6 though. Iowa's still number 5. Penn State jumps up to number 4. Oregon is number 3, and obviously Georgia, Bama are 2 and 1. Yeah, that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, I think so. We haven't even talked about what we did this weekend.
Well, yeah, we're getting
I feel like we should have opened with that.
That's true. We probably should have. I kind of forgot.
Like, me too. Like, we started talking about college football.
About it right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we went to the Lions game. It was so hectic, dude, because I was flying in from South Carolina at early in the morning. Like, the butt crack of dawn.
Supposed to land at, what, 10?
We had a flight from Charleston to Atlanta at 5:30, and then the Atlanta to Detroit was at 7. My initial flight gets delayed. Of course. I was upset. We're obviously going to miss the connecting flight.
Yeah, we've had this Lions game planned for 2 months.
Longer than that, I feel like. I mean, as soon as the schedule dropped that it was Lions,
we bought
Ravens,
these tickets.
we're like, all right, we're going to, as soon as we bought them like right away.
Yeah.
And I like changed my whole vacation. We were supposed to fly out of Grand Rapids. We were supposed to fly in like late Sunday night. We changed our whole vacation just to work around this game. Anyways, we end up getting to Atlanta, and there's another flight. My parents figured it out. Shout out to my parents because they had to deal with my grumpy ass during this whole thing.
Yeah, you're pissed.
I was pissed.
I know you're like barely talking. Like, yeah, whatever.
I was pissed, and we end up getting a flight from Detroit to Atlanta that landed at like 12:45. So I get to Detroit at like noon. These dudes are there, pick me up. We rush to Ford Field. And we made it. We made
kickoff.
Yeah.
Somehow. And we drove I was driving. I have Willie, Scuba, and Dale in the car. And we cannot figure out the airport. We're trying to find Skunk at the airport for a good 15 minutes. Like, you're off the flight looking for us. We can't find each other. You're on the lower deck. We're on the upper deck.
And that wasn't made. That clear. Wasn't just put out there until Dale was like, yeah, we're up on the ramp. I'm like, oh, that would have been nice to know.
Oh, I didn't even know there were two.
I didn't know either until I looked up, and I was like, oh, I didn't know you could go up there.
Yeah, I had no idea. But we had so much fun. The first half of this game, incredibly boring.
Yeah. We got stuck in line.
Yeah,
getting
you
food.
missed the whole second
pretty much
quarter.
The entire second quarter. Yeah, me, Scuba, and Dale got stuck at the Hungry Howie's line. But we had to eat.
I got the worst nachos and salsa. If you go to a stadium, don't get the food.
If you go to a stadium, you have to get pizza, hot dog. That's pretty much it.
And like, they're both not going to be that great.
But like, our pizza wasn't bad.
Really?
I mean, it's
Hungry Howie's
pizza. Yeah. Like, you get a hot dog, like, it's not, you know what you're getting with a hot dog.
Yeah, you know it too, but it's $6.
You can't really mess it up that bad. Yeah, but you know that though. You're expecting the high prices.
For this Pittsburgh Lions game, I'm not going in hungry.
Oh no, we're eating a lot before.
I'm like somewhere cool. But we get to the second half, and the game starts ramping up in intensity.
Yeah, because the Ravens like scored right away,
and
then the Lions just started going off.
They started playing well. Jamal Williams is a monster. I love Jamal Williams.
Swift had a really big third quarter as well. This was just a fun game because I like knew the Ravens were gonna win. Like, I knew the Lions were gonna lose until like the third quarter or the fourth quarter actually, when they scored their second touchdown, and I was like, the Lions like might actually win. Like, I don't want to get my hopes up, and I never really did get my hopes up, honestly. But we get the lead with the late field goal, and we ran the clock out like you're supposed to do. And there's like, what, 40 seconds, 30 seconds, no timeouts for Baltimore. But we all know who they got kicking the football. So it's like we need to get a stop.
And we know who's at quarterback.
They got a sack on like first down.
And it's, yeah.
Or no, they got a sack on third down.
Yeah, third down.
It was 3rd and long, I think. And they got a sack to make it 4th and 20. And then we call a timeout. And that was like, okay, I love Dan Campbell, but like he's a first-year coach. I mean, he will start to learn everything. And I'm not giving up on him like the freaking idiots on Detroit radio are talking about.
Shut up, bro.
But, yeah, the Ravens 4th and 20. Throw a deep ball to Sammy Watkins, and it gets a first down.
When you were at the stadium, they called that timeout. The place was roaring.
Yeah, that's the part that was like, man, this place is going nuts. Like, why would you do
like,
that?
All the energy was like,
yeah,
boo, Ravens. Like, we are balling right now. We just won the football game. And Dan Campbell was like, you know what, timeout. And I was like, hold on.
Maybe he just saw something he didn't like. Maybe the defense wasn't lined up.
Yeah, maybe there was a tutter
like,
waiting to happen.
It could have been something that we didn't see, but
I mean,
if it was Marquise Brown deep ball, that's fine. Like, he can throw it to him. He's not going to catch it. So, but anyways, Legatron gets out there for 66-yarder, and we were sitting in the end zone that he kicked it in.
Yeah,
and
like the end zone camera was probably like 20 seats to our left.
Yeah.
Like that's Willie said. That was his line.
Really?
He was like, yeah, you the camera angle that they showed all over TV, that was 20 seats to our left. Yeah, right. So the kick goes up, and it hits the crossbar, and we don't know where it's going. We assume since it's 66 yards out, that it hit the crossbar and bounced the other way.
And well, when he initially kicked it too, I thought it was bottoms. Like, I thought he had a way too much distance, or I thought like he bombed it. Like, I thought it was going in for sure. And then I saw it start to fall, and I was like, "Grab, is that gonna make it?" Like,
hits the crossbar. We go nuts.
Yeah, because from our view, it looked like it bounced out. It really did.
And then all of a sudden, we see the net move, and it's the oh shit! And the Ravens fans start freaking out, and we all just sit there like, no way.
I was just in like awe. I wasn't even pissed off. Like, I was literally just like, oh my God, we just watched that. Like,
one of the greatest kicks in NFL history.
We just saw him make a 66-yarder. Like, holy crap, this is gonna be all over Twitter. Like,
yeah,
and it was.
One of the greatest kicks in NFL history.
Such a great.
We sat there and watched.
It was such a fun time though. Like, it was nice, and we got to be a part of NFL history.
Yep.
So every single game we go to, it'll be a historical game.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
That was my first ever Lions game, and I'm like itching to go back because the energy was so crazy at Ford Field.
That was the loudest stadium I've ever been in, I think.
Oh, really? And you've been to a couple Lions games, right?
Been to a few Lions games. None of them were that loud.
Yep.
I've been into the Big House. They played a crappy team, so that's probably why it wasn't that loud.
When I was in the Big House, it was pretty loud.
It was loud in the Big House when I went, but
we got
really?
When I was in the Big House. We played Penn State. We got rocked.
But yeah, it was a super fun time. I think that's a good way to segue into our week 3 review. Do we want to do player of the week first or the games first? Oh wait, no, we should games first. Yeah. So week 3 review, or do you want me to name the who won picks?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So weekly picks. Last week I got a 2-0 lead. I tied the record for most in a week with 11. Easton answers that, getting 11 again, or tying it with 11 this week. I only got 9. So Easton gets the dub. 2-1 now.
I'm consistent. It's consistent.
Yeah. I thought that when I was just going through mine, I was like, this is going to be close, but I thought we were going to tie, honestly. But we both had a pretty solid week.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let's talk about last week's games. Carolina, Houston. McCaffrey got hurt.
This was a sad game. I had to watch this game with Jack, who's my roommate. Fantasy, he's got Christian McCaffrey. Had him last year.
Yeah.
He went upstairs at halftime. He didn't watch the rest of the game.
He will be back, though. They said that he's not even going to be out 3 weeks. They said they're not putting him on IR. So
I think Jack might have been like literally sick to his stomach. Like,
because the same thing happened last year, so it was like not again.
He's like
and having McCaffrey is so OP.
He looks at me and goes, "Are we serious? Like, are you joking, man?" Just walks upstairs. I'm like, "I'm so sorry, buddy. Like, I'm so sorry."
Davis Mills got the start for Houston, his first career start. Didn't look bad, actually.
Not at all.
Indianapolis, Tennessee, didn't watch this game. Titans won. Colts are 0-3.
Derrick Henry had a good game.
Falcons, Giants. Falcons won. In the battle of the winless teams, the Falcons win.
Yep, Saquon had his first good week.
Yeah, he did.
Saquon had a great week this week.
Chiefs, Chargers. The Chiefs lose 2 games in a row. I wonder I wonder the last time they lost 2 games in a row. It couldn't have been. It had to have been a while ago. I bet.
Yeah, and Tyreek with 2 bad weeks in a row.
I know.
2 bad weeks.
And Justin Herbert torches the Chiefs, throwing for 4 touchdowns. Cincinnati Steelers. This game we didn't watch. I mean, we didn't watch many of these games because we were either in the game or on the road. So
yeah, I didn't even realize that. I'm trying to think of watching all these games. We didn't watch any of them.
We watched Sunday night. That was pretty much it. But the Bengals beat the Steelers. Najee Harris gets 19 targets out of the backfield, and they lose by 2 touchdowns to the
Unreal.
Bengals. Chicago, Cleveland. Justin Fields' first career start went absolutely awful. Got sacked 9 times. I was playing against Cleveland's defense. They had
Cleveland's
22
defense.
points because they had 9 sacks, and Fields didn't look good, but it was kind of his fault, but also it's like
it's 68 passing yards, right?
How are you supposed to? I don't know.
I think he had 68
I didn't
or
even
something
check
like
his
that. It
stats.
was disgustingly bad.
They played really bad.
Oh, they were horrible.
The Bears might be the worst team in the NFL, and they already have 1 win.
He had 3 rushes for 12 yards too. He's supposed to be good at that.
The Bears don't even know who they're starting next week. They said it's an open battle between Fields, Dalton, and Nick Foles.
They're gonna figure it out.
Nick Foles might start.
They're gonna figure it out Sunday morning. Whoever's throwing the best in pregame.
They said pretty much whoever wins out in practice this week is gonna start. That is not a good thing to have week 4.
Never good. Never good.
Baltimore Lions, we know. Next. New Orleans, New England. The Saints won this one pretty big.
Mac Jones.
I don't know
horrible.
much else. Yeah, he had a bad game.
Every rookie quarterback was
They
bad
all
this
suck.
week.
Yeah,
They're all
Jared
bad.
Goff's better than all of them. Arizona, Jacksonville. Arizona wins this game. Jamal Agnew had a 109-yard kick return when Prater kicked a 68-yarder. Imagine if Prater would have made that, because it would have made Tucker's kick it would have been cool, but
It was now you have the second.
Yeah, but you did it on the
kick.
same day too.
Yeah, it was the second.
They probably wouldn't
kick.
even have tried it.
No, no point.
Washington, Buffalo. Buffalo wins this game. Josh Allen goes nuts.
Disgusting.
Had a crazy fantasy game. Yeah, I picked Washington. Bad upset pick. Denver, New York Jets. Denver wins big. The Jets really suck.
They're bad.
Miami, Vegas. Vegas wins this one in overtime, but they blew it. They were up by 2 touchdowns with not much time left, and they went to overtime, but they still ended up winning. They're undefeated. Seattle, Minnesota. Minnesota won this game.
Yeah, Jets had a good game. Madison had a great game.
Yeah,
no
Dalvin Cook, and they win.
Yeah, he came out and balled out.
Maybe that means they should trade Dalvin Cook.
Probably not.
Can't win with him.
Yeah, probably not, but sure.
Then the game of the week, Tampa Bay, LA Rams. The Rams dominated the Bucs this entire game. I mean, it was really, the Rams were in control the whole time. Their defense is so damn good.
Dude, unreal. Even my dad came to work today, and he's like, he says to me, he goes, for the first time in my whole life, I rooted against Tom Brady. He goes, on Sunday, it was the first time I ever did. And I was like, "Did you have fun?" He goes, "Oh yeah." He goes, "It was awesome." He goes, "The Rams are awesome to watch." He loves Cooper Kupp. He's the biggest fan of Cooper Kupp.
Well, he's been going off.
He's the best.
Stafford makes it look so easy though, because I don't know what if their offensive playbook is just OP as shit.
Yeah,
but Cooper Kupp is wide ass open every single play, dude. And Deshaun Jackson was wide open 4 times in this game too. I mean, Stafford
doesn't have to do much.
He's playing crazy insane. He is just making it look easy. I mean, his wide receivers are wide ass.
That's what we were sitting there with Jack the one day, and Jack goes, "Easton, you can go in there and make a lot of these throws." And he's a Stafford fan.
Yeah,
he's like, this is the most unreal. Cooper Kupp had a catch a week ago, and he caught it on the 20 and didn't get touched it was a bad ball. Didn't get touched all the way into the end zone, and it was what is going on?
I know, Stafford is. I mean, he's probably the leading front runner for MVP right now, just because
has to be.
He's on the best team in football, and
he's balling,
and he's having a really good statistical year. I mean, those add up for an MVP. So we'll see if that continues. Sunday Night Football, Green Bay, San Francisco. I wish I would have stayed up to watch the end of this game, but I didn't. But it was a crazy ending. Green Bay has a drive with 30 seconds left, no timeouts. Ends up winning the game. Sucks.
Yeah, this game was weird, and you didn't stay for it. The craziest thing to happen was Devontae Adams literally died on the field.
Yeah, I remember. I did see a clip of that, though. Yeah.
2 plays later, he comes running out of the medical
ball Pierce.
and just he's happy as can be, And then I think Aaron Rodgers seemed so flustered after Devontae Adams got hurt. He threw like 3 straight long balls and just overthrew everybody.
Really?
It didn't even look like he cared. It was hilarious.
Yeah, Green Bay wins this game, though. It was a good one. Monday Night Football, Philly, Dallas. Dallas won pretty easily.
Zeke had his first big game.
Yeah, had a huge game.
Yeah, Zeke was balling.
Philly really didn't do much. Yeah.
There was a player I had in mind for Player of the Week, and I'm not going to remember who it was. And it's going to kill me, but I have like my other guy that I was like in between. But I don't remember.
Do you want me to say mine first so you can maybe try to think of it? So I went for my week 3 Player of the Week. I had it between 2 guys, and I decided to go with Justin Herbert for Player of the Week. Herbert, 26 of 38 for 281 yards, 4 touchdowns, but most importantly, went on the road to Kansas City and got the dub, and beating the Chiefs. The Chiefs are in last place in their division now. So I'm giving Player of the Week to Herbert. Stafford was my other honorable mention because he got a huge win as well. His numbers were crazier than Herbert, but beating the Chiefs is huge for Herbert.
Yeah, and I'm going to go between my 2 guys. I'm not going to go Herbert for my 2 guys. I'm going to say Josh Allen, who had probably the craziest statistical week, 5 total touchdowns, like 386 yards or something crazy.
Wild.
But I am going to go with Stafford. He's now proved himself, and now the whole world knows that Stafford is one of the best QBs in the National Football League. No question about it. He just beat Tom Brady after beating, who did he beat last week?
The Colts.
Yeah,
and then
Colts.
they beat week 1, they beat somebody pretty good.
Stafford has been balling all season, and last week really showed out like why he's one of the best. He did start off looking shaky though, but Stafford is my Player of the Week.
Yep. So that means we can go into weekly picks. We forgot to do the song last week.
Yeah.
It was a rough episode. Like, we forgot a lot of things, but we're prepared this time. So
like, the fact that we didn't do the song made me forget which button it is.
I think it's the green one.
I think it's the pink one.
No, it's not. It's not the pink one.
Let's test. 3, 2.
No, not that one. This one. That is not green. That is yellow. What?
That is so facts. Yeah, you're right.
Weekly picks, it's the weekly picks. It's the high tempo weekly NFL picks.
Weekly picks. The song is what even played on that other one?
Well, Jeopardy. It was the Jeopardy song.
Okay. So let's get into it. Week 4 picks, starting with Thursday Night Football. We got a rematch of the 2019 College Football Championship. I think 2019. Jacksonville 0-3, taking on the 2-1 Bengals.
Go Cincinnati. I don't think I've bet you in the 2 years Joe Burrow's been quarterback. I've picked it. Granted, he played like a few games last year. I think I picked against him like 2 times.
Yeah, you picked the Bengals quite a bit. It worked last week, though.
I'm a huge Joe Burrow fan, and he isn't even that good this year.
I don't know why, but I'm picking the Jags.
No way, bro.
I just have a feeling that they're going to get their first win against the Bengals. Trevor Lawrence is going to get his revenge on Burrow from the game. But it's probably a bad pick, but...
Don't make me go get James Robinson. I will. Do not do that.
I have him on my family league. I'll probably start him. Next game, we have the 2-1 Tennessee Titans taking on the 0-3 New York Jets.
There is no shot in hell the Titans lose this game to the New York Jets. There's what are the Jets going to do to Derrick Henry? Nothing.
Yeah.
Titans.
Yeah, I'm going with the Titans as well. Next, we have the 1-2 Kansas City Chiefs taking on the 1-2 Philadelphia Eagles.
Same situation, Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs. There's no way they drop 3 in a row.
Nope.
Next, we have the 3. This one I had to. I usually write them down as I go. But this one I waited till the end and come back to it because this is hard. 3-0 Carolina Panthers taking on the 2-1 Dallas Cowboys.
Chuba Hubbard's coming out party is this week. And I'm gonna pick the upset here. I didn't pick many upsets this week. I think most of them are kind of obvious. Except then there's the close games. But Carolina, I've got them going over Dallas.
I mean, they're undefeated.
Yeah,
Dallas
how much of an
2-1.
upset is it? Yeah.
I would still say Dallas is probably favored in Dallas. I'm going with Carolina too, actually. Though I do think that they are the sleeper. I was gonna pick Dallas, but I
hate Dallas.
I don't like relying on Dallas, so I'm going with Carolina.
I don't like watching and wanting them to win.
Yeah, exactly.
I like watching certain guys play well. We talked about this. I like Dak.
That's pretty much it, though.
That's it. And CD. I do like CD.
Yeah. I like Amari Cooper too. Actually,
See, I don't like Amari Cooper
just because he's on my fantasy team. Next, I have the 0-3 New York Giants taking on the 2-1 New Orleans Saints.
Saints all the way. I don't really see the Giants winning at all.
I do because I picked them. They're 0-3, and I did pick them to win the NFC East. So at some point they have to start winning. So I'm going with the Giants.
Where I had them. I wish I had my notebook.
Next, we have the 2-1 Cleveland Browns taking on the 1-2 Minnesota Vikings.
This is one of those games that's super close. I think Browns are probably the favorite in this game, but I'm going Vikings. I've learned that I like the Vikings and I like watching them win because when the Vikings are playing well, they are so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, same with the Browns, but it's mainly running the ball when they're really good. The Vikings do it all. They're passing to Dalvin out of the backfield. Jets and Thielen are balling, and Captain Kirk is nuts.
He's been having a really good year, too, actually. Like, his stats are pretty nice. I also picked the Vikings, or the upset here over the Browns. I'm not really rooting for them, but I just picked them. Next, we have your very own 0-3 Detroit Lions taking on the 1-2 Chicago Bears.
Bears are the worst team in football. Go Lions.
Go Lions. Like I said, at some point, I will pick against the Lions. 4 weeks in, I have yet to do it.
I don't think I picked against them.
But, yeah, you did.
Week one. Yeah, that's it.
But I'm going with Lions. Next, we have the 1-2 Houston Texans taking on the 2-1 Buffalo Bills.
Josh Allen won't slow down now. Go Bills.
Yeah, Bills all day. Next, we have the 0-3 Indianapolis Colts taking on the 1-2 Miami Dolphins.
This team is by far the most talented 0-3 team in the whole league. The Colts need to win this game against Miami. Colts.
Yeah, I'm going with the Colts as well. Like, there's an 0-4. Like, that would be unreal.
Sounds so
That
wrong.
would be bad. Next, we have the 1-2 Washington football team taking on the 1-2 Atlanta Falcons.
Just traded Derrick Henry and got Gibson back in the deal, along with other players. That sounds so horrible when you say it like that. But going with Washington here. Gibson needs to have a good week.
I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons here. They got their first win last week, and they're going to get another one.
I say that like I didn't also get Ridley and Pitts in the deal. I have
so
3 fantasy players.
That's a big game for you.
Huge.
We got to watch that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Next, we have an in-division battle. The 1-2 Seattle Seahawks taking on the 2-1 San Francisco 49ers.
I'm super excited for this game. I don't see Seattle going 1-3 to start off the year. Going Seattle.
I am going with the San Francisco 49ers in this one. They've looked pretty good so far this year. And this is going to be a battle, and I just decided to go with San Francisco. Next, we have easily the game of the week. Back-to-back weeks for the Rams in a tough game. The 3-0 Arizona Cardinals taking on the 3-0 LA Rams.
I would love to see Matt Stafford start off 4-0. However, this could be a bad game for people who don't like Stafford. The Cardinals create a lot of turnovers. Their defense is elite at creating turnovers. This is nerve-wracking. I am still picking the Rams just because I'm very hopeful Stafford starts off 4-0.
Yeah, I'm going with the Rams as well, but this is going to be a good-ass game.
Kyler Murray is going to be putting on a show.
Yeah. Next, we have the 1-2 Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the 2-1 Green Bay Packers.
Much as I hate to do it, these are my 2 least favorite teams in the NFL. And I'm going to pick the team that I think is better out of my least 2 favorite, and that's the Packers. As much as I hate to admit it, but I think the Packers are a better
what a
football team.
shitty game this is.
Yeah,
like, do we have to pick somebody for this one?
I'm not watching it.
I'm picking the Steelers, strictly based off of who do I hate more, the Packers, so I won't pick them.
Yeah, and I'm doing it. Who do I think is better? The Packers.
I was going to do it like that, but it's just like I don't like either one, so I'll go with the Steelers.
I won't watch this game. This game will not be on at the apartment. Even if
Willie's there, we got to watch it.
No. He can go somewhere else. No, we'll probably watch it.
Next, we have the 2-1 Baltimore Ravens taking on the 3-0 Denver Broncos. This is a good one.
Yeah, and I'm definitely going Ravens here.
I was considering going Broncos, but the Ravens, I'm picking them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, we're definitely watching that game. I have Aaron Rodgers. Seth has Devontae Adams. Willie loves the Steelers. Like, we're watching
it
that
kind of
game.
adds up. Next, Sunday Night Football, we have a rematch that we have been waiting to see. The 2-1 Tampa Bay Buccaneers head into New England to take on the 1-2 Patriots.
I thought you were going to say the 2-1 Bucks versus Bill Belichick.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Brady versus Belichick. It's in New England, in Foxborough. This is going to be a great game.
Can we talk about this game for a little bit?
Yeah.
I'm going to say my pick right now. I'm picking the Bucks. Just 'cause I think they're by far the better team.
So am I. And I don't want. I mean, Brady's going against New England.
Did we already talk about this actually? Like, what do we think Belichick and Brady do after the game?
They're going to go up to each other.
Is it tears or is it like, I hate you?
No,
like for beating
it's going to
me?
be just like a hug. and they'll talk for like a 5 seconds, and then it'll be it.
On.
I don't think it will be nothing special.
I want it to be, though. I hope they do something really nice.
I don't think they ended on good terms, though.
No, they don't.
I mean, I don't think it was him and Belichick. I think it was more him and Robert Kraft and everyone else. But I don't know. I don't think they're just gonna like not talk either. Yeah. They definitely will like talk a little bit.
I'm super excited.
But I hope Brady goes off.
Me too. I want 6 touchdowns.
Okay, are the fans gonna go off?
They better. If you don't give,
imagine booing Tom Brady.
Imagine booing the dude who won you 5 rings.
Yes,
like that'd be 6 rings. That'd be a joke.
Tied for the most.
You'd be the most. It'd be the most lame fan base ever.
Yeah, it would.
I would.
I bet that there'll be a little bit of booze though, just because
they're probably gonna have a big video of like this is the greatest quarterback ever.
They should. Like next Monday Night Football, we have the 3-0 Las Vegas Raiders taking on the 2-1 Los Angeles Chargers.
I would love to see the Chargers stay hot. I like a lot of players on this roster. Go Chargers.
Yep, I'm going with the Chargers as well. So
are they your second favorite team in the NFL?
The Chargers?
Yeah.
I like them a lot, but I don't think I have like a definitive second favorite team.
Me either. There's like
it kind of just rotates.
There's 3 teams that I like a lot.
I don't really even have a second favorite team. It's just like there's teams I like, guys I like. I like Justin Herbert a lot, so that's pretty much why I like the Chargers.
And I like the Chargers because I had Mike Williams, Eckler.
Yeah, and I have Mike Williams.
I like Herbert. I like the Rams. That's another team that I really like, and the Browns, which are all good teams. But that's because I'm a Lions fan. I got to root for good teams.
So we can't tie, right? Because we both picked Bucks, Chargers, but I picked Jacksonville. You picked Cincinnati.
Yep.
So we can't. Should we pick one just in case because we might be dumb?
No, we both picked Rams. Pittsburgh versus Packers.
I don't want after. Yeah, I don't want.
That's the game of the week.
Yeah, we have to.
It's the game of the week.
Pittsburgh and Packers is the one. So before we move on to, this is gonna be a long podcast. Just letting you know. I wanted to do this too. Top 10 point guards is coming next, but let's talk about. This is gonna be quick. The undefeated and winless teams, and let's rank them.
Okay, let's go. Because
that's fun.
You got to give me them.
So, which one do you want to do first?
I want to do the undefeated teams first.
So the undefeated teams currently are Carolina, Arizona. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm
okay. Carolina, Arizona, LA Rams, Las Vegas, and the Denver Broncos. This one's kind of tough. I will go through my ranking first to give you time to think about it. So, LA Rams are the best undefeated team. Cardinals at 2, Carolina I have at 3, Las Vegas at 4, and Denver at 5.
Yeah, I have the exact same list. Like I'm sitting here writing, and I'm like, yeah, there's no. I initially wrote.
But 3 through 5, I think are pretty interchangeable.
I don't think Vegas. I think Carolina is solely 3.
I think probably, but Denver
maybe without Christian
Denver
McCaffrey.
Could be a good team actually, but they've played
nobody.
Like the 3 teams they play are all 0-3.
Yep.
They played the Jets, Giants, and Jacksonville. So like the 3 worst teams probably in the entire league.
Horrible.
Now there's 5 of each. So now we have the winless teams. The winless teams are the Jacksonville Jaguars, the New York Jets, the New York Giants, the Detroit Lions, and the Indianapolis Colts. So my ranking of the winless teams, I have the Detroit Lions as the best winless team.
Really?
The Colts as the second best, the Giants as the third best, Jacksonville as the 4th, and the Jets are the worst team.
I have the same exact list, but Lions are 2. I really don't.
I think the Lions are they have put up a good fight in every game so far this year. The Colts are a good team too, but I'm saying if the Colts play the Lions right now, Lions are winning that game.
I don't think so.
Probably
I
not.
really don't.
It's pretty biased pick.
Yeah,
but
you're telling me New York hasn't won a game? Like imagine being a fan living in that
at least
city.
you got Buffalo.
Yeah.
But
facts.
Who roots for Buffalo with 2 other teams in New York?
Exactly.
Jacksonville, New York Jets, though. Who's worse? Probably the Jets. Yeah.
Oh, the Jets. I would easily take Jacksonville.
All right, that was pretty much all I wanted to do. Top 10 point guards. It's here. You've been waiting for it. It's finally here. Let's talk about our list last year because this is the one that is the most different from last year compared to this year. So we both had Steph at 1. I had Dame at 2, Luka at 3. You had Luka at 2, Dame at 3. We both had CP3 at 4. I had Russ at 5. You had Kyrie at 5. I had Ben Simmons at 6. You had Russell Westbrook at 6. I had Kyle Lowry at 7, who is definitely not making an appearance this year. We got into an argument about Lowry, too, just because, obviously, I was a big Lowry fan. Simmons at 7. And it's funny that you brought up that thing about Simmons earlier because in this podcast, you said that he has the highest ceiling in the entire NBA.
Wow.
You said him or Giannis has the highest ceiling.
That's ballsy. That's just wrong. It's probably. That
was another thing
wrong.
that I thought was funny. I had Kyrie at 8, so I had him pretty low. You had Jamal Murray at number 8, Kemba at 9 for me, Kyle Lowry at 9 for you, Trae Young at 10 for me, Kemba Walker at 10 for you. So you had Trae Young at 11, Ja Moran at 12. I had Jamal Murray at 11, Ja Moran at 12. So Trae Young is the guy, who's changed the most.
Yeah.
We both said, though, like, Trae Young will probably be top 5 next year.
Really?
So, yeah, we literally, because one of us said it and the other one was like, yeah, he probably will be. So that's pretty cool to see. But, yeah, this list is way different this year just because of the emergence of a few guys.
Yep.
And Kyle Lowry and Kemba Walker haven't fell off. Like, they're still good players.
There's not on the
especially
list.
Lowry. But, yeah, there's not on the list. Like, this is the deepest list. The
honorable
honorable mentions on this list are better than a lot of the other guys on the other lists.
Yeah, if you take, so my honorable mentions, my 2 big ones, Drew Holiday and Ben Simmons. Those are both honorable mentions for me. Ben Simmons, I had him at 10 here until you said Jamal Murray, because I forgot about Jamal Murray. But Ben Simmons, man, I really still think he's right there, knocking on the door.
Oh, yeah, I wrote down, like, my guys. I got him at number 12.
Okay.
So Jamal Murray is my number 11.
Okay.
And then I just wrote down Lowry, Kemba, and D'Angelo Russell just because, like, they deserve to be at least mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, Simmons is still, and I do think that whatever team Simmons goes to, he is going to play well, and that's all we got to say about Ben Simmons.
And he'll be the 4th best power forward in the league. I really hope.
We'll see. Over Zion though?
No, he'll be like the 6th.
All right, let's get into it. Number 10.
Number 10, I got Jamal Murray here. Jamal Murray is a baller when he is healthy, obviously. Yeah. You can say that for a lot of guys.
Sucks that he got hurt last year.
Sucks, because Denver might have won the chip last year.
They might have beat Phoenix.
Might have won the chip last year with Jamal Murray. I am so excited. I know it won't happen anytime soon, but for a fully healthy Denver Nuggets squad,
yeah, I mean,
man, am
gonna
I
be out
excited for
a
that.
good amount of time this year. Hopefully, Michael Porter Jr. can stay healthy. He just got a bag.
Just bag talk.
I mean, he's Michael Porter Jr. is definitely a most improved player type guy this year, just because he's gonna have such a huge role. We should do a breakout players list pretty soon too.
Yeah, so we need to do top 10 bags.
Top 10 bags.
Breakout.
We still have to do top 25 players.
Yeah, holy shit.
We could do top 10 breakout players for this year.
Yeah, like top 10 guys we expect to explode.
Yeah. My number 10 is Drew Holiday. Just coming off of a NBA championship, is probably the best defending guard in the entire NBA if you're not counting Ben Simmons as a guard, I guess.
Yep.
But Drew Holiday just plays absolute clamps. It shows you how good he is when he shoots the ball so poorly in most of the games in the finals and is still like such an impactful player. Like, I mean, he had that steal late in game 5 or 6
off the glass,
and then throws the lob to Giannis. I mean, that was the biggest play of the finals probably. But Drew Holiday, he is one of my favorite players on this list just because you can admire him. Like, he is definitely a guy that every guy in the league respects. Everyone gets on a podcast, they talk about who's your least favorite guy to go up against.
Drew
Holiday's
Holiday.
name is brought up.
The best defender in the league.
Everyone
Kevin
says
Durant
that.
will say it's
Durant
Drew
says
Holiday.
that. Everyone says that it's Drew Holiday.
Durant.
So.
Drew Holiday isn't checking you. Like, there's no shot. He's
like
the
Drew
best.
Holiday was guarding KD.
PJ Tucker is better guarding
in the Bucks
KD.
net series. Holiday
was.
was guarding him, not Giannis.
He was. I remember that. PJ Tucker got on him more than Giannis did.
True, yeah. Number 9.
Number 9, I've got the youngest guy on the list. Youngest guy on the list, John Morant. Man, am I excited. This is another guy who could easily end up being like number 6 after this season. I am so excited to watch Ja play this next season, and I'm excited to watch more Grizzlies games. I'm really hoping. I really wish they had more guys in their team that I liked. I'm not a huge Jaren Jackson fan. I like watching Slow-Mo. He's fun to watch. Kyle
Brooks
Anderson
is a very likable guy.
Yeah, he is. He's likable. But like
they're not. I don't know how good they're going to be this year.
Me either.
Because I mean, the last 2 years we've been like, that team ain't very good, and then Ja's taking them to the playoffs. So
yeah,
it's
exactly.
well.
And Dylan Brooks is a good basketball player.
Yeah, he is. But maybe they'd trade him. Like, I don't know.
You might as
the
well.
The Grizzlies are in a weird spot because they're trying to like fit their timeline, but they're also like good enough to at least compete for a playoff spot. So it's like, which one do you want to go for?
Yep.
I also have Ja Morant at number 9. Definitely one of the best young players in the entire NBA. Rookie of the year 2 years ago, put up almost 50 in the playoffs against the number 1 seed Utah Jazz. And I'm starting to wonder, like, if we're gonna have similar.
I'm now thinking we're gonna.
I was just thinking about it because, like, I feel like our next few are gonna be the same.
That's what I'm.
But I like Jamal Murray a lot, and he will probably be top 7 next year.
I'm really worried that we're gonna have identical lists from.
I don't think we will.
I hope not. Number 8, former MVP Russell Westbrook. The guy in front of Russell Westbrook, who I'll get to, is basically like the same player. But Russell Westbrook is elite, but he hasn't won in a long time, and I'm gonna knock him for that.
I mean, he's never won.
Yeah, but I mean, he used to be like a winning team. His team used to win games. Like he hasn't been on a winning team in a long time.
I mean, the
5
Rockets
years.
made the second round in the playoffs 2 years ago when he went in the bubble. Like that's a
I guess that was
second round playoff team.
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
He hasn't missed the playoffs like since probably like 2011.
Yeah, other than last year.
They made it last year.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But I mean,
like
I
know
know
what I'm saying.
I get what
he's
you're saying.
Russell Westbrook. They should be better in the 8 seed. But I'm gonna put him at number 8.
My number 8 is Darren Fox.
Oh, good.
I do have Fox at number 8. Unlike you, Fox had a breakout year last year.
Under the radar breakout year.
Like put up 25 a night. Was easily the best player on this Kings team, and the Kings they weren't bad last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they a very dysfunctional franchise. I hope that they can figure it out because Darren Fox is too good of a player to just rot in Sacramento. Him and his backcourt member Tyrese Halliburton they could end up being a really good backcourt eventually. But Darren Fox really broke out last year, and he definitely can't be on the breakout players list because he already has.
Already did it.
He definitely is a guy who is probably going to make his first All-Star appearance next year, depending on injuries and how good the Kings are. But Darren Fox, my number 8.
Yeah, and my number 7 is Darren Fox. Man, talk about swiper. I love this guy, and I love watching him play. Just the way he, at full head of steam, there's nobody like him other than young prime Russell Westbrook. Nobody like that dude on a full, or maybe like John Wall. Right. But those dudes, holy moly, is Darren Fox just unbelievably fast. And when he drives to the lane, he is so much fun. And you're right. I hope he doesn't have the DeMarcus Cousins story in Sacramento. I really hope they start winning or he gets out of there. I really hope.
My number 7 is Russell Westbrook. A lot of people forget Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double again last year. Like, the dude averaged like 28, 10, and 11. Like, he led the league in assists last year, was like 3rd in rebounds. And he played well the second half of the season. He wasn't an all-star last year, got snubbed from All-NBA as well. But he also was with Bradley Beal, and there's not many spots to give out, so...
You can't give 2 Wizards players.
Yeah, for me in the 8 seed, and Beal probably did deserve it over him. But Russell Westbrook still is just one of the more like overhated players in the entire NBA. He has been for quite a long time, pretty much ever since KD left OKC.
Oh, easily.
But Westbrook, I think I'm gonna get his jersey. I think I'm gonna get a Lakers Westbrook jersey.
That'd be a cool jersey.
Because I've always liked Westbrook, and I've never been a part of this whole
empty stats narrative.
He's a bad player. Like he just yes, he definitely has times where he plays bad. But Westbrook, all in general, is a great player. And he's a great guy, too. Like, every time a person talks about playing with Westbrook, I've never heard someone talk negatively about him. Like, because he seems like he'd be like a hothead type guy, but everyone says he's like his favorite teammate. And I think he's going to mesh really well with this Lakers team. I'm not worried about the whole him and LeBron can't play together. Like, dude, they've been boys for like 10 years. Like, I think they will figure it out.
It is wild. Like, I think Russell Westbrook's passion for the game of basketball is like the most admirable thing about him. He is like, how could you dislike that guy as a teammate, seeing the way he acts on a court? Yeah. He loves playing the game. And as a fan, it is so much fun to watch. It's like refreshing. It's like he's a kid.
It's just so
still.
I don't know who to root for next year. Like it's between the Nets and Lakers.
Yeah.
Which makes me sound like awful, obviously.
We're Pistons
But just
fans.
because it's because I want to see guys get rings.
Yep.
I want to see Westbrook get a ring. I want to see LeBron get number 5. But I also want to see Harden get a ring. I want to see KD get another one.
I don't want to see Kyrie get one.
I want to see Blake Griffin and Bruce Brown and Sekou get a ring. So it's like...
I really don't want to see Kyrie win a ring, though. He's going to talk about it for years.
It would be cool to see Blake get one. A lot of Pistons fans don't like Blake.
I like Blake.
I like Blake still, obviously.
What did you expect him to do? like you expected him to go out there and tear his ACL?
The Pistons fans don't realize it helped our team
Yes.
getting rid of him. Like, him not being able to dunk and him playing bad, that helped us. We got Cade Cunningham. Like, do you realize if he would have dunked and played well, we wouldn't have been that bad. Like, just put it together.
And Blake probably would have tore his ACL.
And we weren't trading his contract even if he was good. People say, well, if he was better, we could have traded him instead of buying him out. No.
Nobody wants that guy
we
that
could
much.
not have traded that contract away. Like,
No way in hell.
I could talk about this for so long. This 4 through 6 is hard.
Yeah.
I think this, when we talked about earlier, about when there's three guys that are like on that same level, because I think we can both agree this 4 through 6 is they're on the same level. It's hard. This 4 through 6, it's hard to argue, I guess.
Yep.
I'll let you go ahead.
My number 6 is Kyrie Irving. Midway through the season last year, I would have had Kyrie Irving at number 4. Kyrie Irving was 50, 40, 90 last season on crazy efficiency, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, 50, 40, 90.
No, I mean, like,
crazy.
right on, he was
Yeah.
50, 40, 90.
I think he was
like
50, 40. I think he
54%.
actually was like 50, 40, 90 club last year.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he qualified because of games played.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If he had more games played,
Yeah.
he's number 4. I don't think there's a question. Kyrie did not play enough games last year for me to bump him up there. Hurt for most of the playoffs. But he was 50, 40, 90 and super talented last season. Number 6, Kyrie Irving.
My number 6 is the player that made the NBA Finals last season, Chris Paul at number 6. This is tough putting him number 6 because obviously, we both know that we both love Chris Paul a lot. I was going to wear his jersey today, but I figured I would wear the Gary Payton shirt to represent all point guards.
What? Is he like the sole representation?
Well, it's just like,
of every...
I'll wear a good one of the better point guards ever.
I was looking for my John Morant jersey. It's not there. I gave it to somebody to wear one night and haven't gotten it back.
I forgot you had that jersey.
Yeah. And it's my favorite jersey to wear. It looks the best on me.
And it would have been nice for.
Yeah, he's a point guard. And like he's just number 9.
Talked about him,
so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. But Chris Paul, number 6, made it to the NBA Finals last year. Is not washed. He's just been. Every team he goes to is good. Like, it's just.
He hasn't been on a
simple.
losing team in forever.
Yeah. The Suns are going to be back next year, especially in a kind of banged up Western Conference right now. They could definitely make another run. And him and Devin Booker are definitely one of the better backcourts in the NBA. I wonder when Chris Paul's age will start to show. I mean, obviously it shows like he's not in his prime anymore, but he's still a top 6 point guard, top 5 for you. So, Chris Paul at number 6, one of the better leaders in the entire NBA, and that goes without showing.
Yeah. My number, I'm going to say my number 5. That'll make it obvious my number 4 is. My number 5 is Trae Young. I was not quite ready to put CP3 under those two guys. CP3, I'm going to talk about CP3 and then I will talk about Trae Young. CP3, number 4, CP3. But CP3 to me is the opposite of a stat sheet stuffer, as in like everything he does on the floor, a lot of what he does is you can't put a number
That was
to
always
it.
my argument for Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But now CP3 is way better than Kyle Lowry.
Oh, yeah, he always was. I never had Lowry above him.
And I still think that to be true, that CP3's like pure leadership ability and his impact on the floor cannot be measured by numbers and stats. I get he may have averaged like 14 or 16 points a game last year. The dude is unreal leading his team. We saw it in the playoffs. He's the third best mid-range scorer in the league. Probably number 1, but KD is really number 1, but he doesn't do it like Chris Paul does.
Yeah, he's probably the best just because like he shoots them the most too. The Suns in general, him and Booker shoot a lot of middies.
The mid-range,
nice. They bringing it back.
It is back.
It is back.
Yeah. Kawhi Leonard is one of the best players in the league.
True.
Kevin Durant, best player in the league.
He's always been a mid-range. Well, I'm talking about mid-range.
Yeah, I know, but I almost said DeRozan, best player in the league.
Best player in the entire league, DeMar DeRozan, number 1 point guard.
Number 5, Trae Young. I do want to talk about him because he honestly is like my second favorite player on this list. Villain Trae Young.
I thought you were gonna have him number 4, honestly.
I thought about it, but like I'm not ready to. And Chris Paul came off his first finals appearance where he balled out in the playoffs. Chris Paul's regular season stats and playoff stats are different. Like his playoff stats were nuts. Yes. He was crazy. But Trae Young is right there. Next season he will probably be number 4. And I am so excited to watch Trae Young play basketball. I love villain narratives. Sometimes I didn't like the KD villain narrative. I wasn't a fan of KD. I loved LeBron's.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love Trae Young's villain narrative in New York. I hope every time he plays Madison Square Garden,
they play it
he
on
gets
Christmas
booed.
Day.
Yeah,
Hawks-Knicks in New York.
I hope he gets booed every time he goes off.
Awesome.
Like, I would love to go and watch Trae Young play one of these days. Trae Young's my number 5.
Trae Young is also my number 5. The reason I put him over Chris Paul, this was tough because it's hard. Like you said, I didn't know if I was ready to put Trae Young over Chris Paul. Chris Paul went to the NBA Finals this year at 37 years old. Like, that's unreal. But Trae Young is like, the reason I put him over is for kind of the flipped. In his first playoff appearance, Trae Young, the reason why we had him both so low last year, because he put up pretty much the same exact numbers this year as he did last year. They really didn't improve
25 and 10.
It was like 28 and 10.
Yeah.
But we both said he's on a bad team. He hasn't been on a good team. They've been one of the worst teams in the league 2 years in a row. Third year, Trae Young comes in and does what, I'm not like saying, I'm just bringing up Luka, I guess, because they're the same draft class and everything. But Luka has yet to get out of the first round. Trae Young carried his team to the conference finals. I mean, like you said, his playoff stats were really crazy in his first playoffs. He beat the Knicks on a buzzer beater, that floater that it was pretty much at the buzzer. Went off against the 76ers, beat them, and made it to the conference finals when they weren't supposed to at all. And Trae Young really just carried his team to the conference finals, and that's why I put him at number 5. Chris Paul definitely is a better leader. And I'm obviously he's not a better player because I have Trae Young higher, but I just think that this past playoff run is why I got Trae Young over Chris Paul. This
is the first time in the history of Chris Paul's career that you have said he's not a top 5 point guard in the NBA.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, that's
sad.
True.
After his first finals appearance.
Yeah, I know, right?
After his best season
It's not because of him.
Ever.
It's just because of the greatness of other players.
Yeah, okay.
It's hard, dude. I didn't want to do it, but like.
You see what I'm saying?
I did it.
You had to. Number 4, I already said it, CP3.
Oh, yeah.
Your number 4.
My number 4 is Kyrie Irving. This one is something that a year ago I have really come to like Kyrie Irving over the past year, which is weird because last year he was in a lot of controversy, like the whole year.
Yeah. Last year he was the least likable player.
He sat out for personal reasons like 80 different times. But Kyrie Irving, when he is on the court, I think he is better than Trae Young and Chris Paul. Mm-hmm. So that's probably why I put him on there. And I could see you putting him lower because of his, availability is the best ability. So, but Kyrie Irving, when he was on the court last year, was unreal. He still averaged like 27 or 28 points per game last year, like you said, on crazy efficiency. Imagine if he did this with not James Harden and Kevin Durant on his team. God. He'd average like 35 points a game somewhere else.
I disagree.
He'd average 30.
I disagree.
He averaged 28 last year.
I know, but I think he benefits from playing next to Harden and KD.
But I'm just saying he's going to take more shots somewhere else, and if he shoots the ball as well, he obviously is going to have more points.
Look at him in Boston.
He didn't shoot the ball well in Boston, though. Like, he didn't play as well.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, because he didn't have, like, the KD and Harden around him.
I guess so. I'm just making the argument that he shot the ball very well on not even a crazy amount of attempts.
Yep. Yes. Yeah, I agree.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I agree.
But Kyrie Irving, I think, is one of the more... This is going to sound weird, too. He might be the most skilled player in the NBA. Like, at least he's a top 5 skilled at, like, being good at basketball. He's the best ball handler in the entire NBA. He might be the best shot creator in the entire NBA. Finishing at the hoop, he's unreal.
Yeah, he is.
He might be a top 5 most skilled player.
I forgot about his finish. Like I didn't think about that.
He's just so skilled at basketball. He is. Like, dead ass.
He makes the game look effortless.
Yeah.
Like, well, not effortless, because he does the craziest shit.
He's just so good. Yeah.
He's just like, every play he's doing crazy stuff. When we do
our top 10 bags, Kyrie is obviously on the list, but I wonder where he falls.
Me too.
He's got to be top 5,
is going to be so much fun, dude.
Kyrie at number 4. It was tough to put him over the other two guys, but I got him at 4.
Yeah, and I agree. I think when Kyrie plays, he's better than CP3 and Trae Young, but he doesn't play a lot. He hasn't played a lot in
And I don't think he will this upcoming year either, because the Nets don't want what happened last year to happen again, which I understand. But I hope he plays more than like 35 games.
Yeah, me
too. He played. Like, hopefully he can play at least 50 games.
I hope
this
all
year.
3 of them play at least 50 games.
But I don't think they're gonna. Yeah, I think hopefully 50 for all of them.
That's what I'm hoping
50,
for.
50? No, it should be like 60. Yeah, because I
you
forget
only need
this.
20
I kept thinking of the 72 game season. It's 82 again this year. Yeah, 60 should be the goal.
You should only need 20 games of rest.
Yeah,
miss a couple back to backs.
20 games is even a lot. Yeah, but like.
You don't need to miss.
We just don't need injuries again this year because Kyrie got hurt in the playoffs and it really it showed how big of a factor it was.
I am very excited to watch the Nets, and
Yeah.
Kyrie is one of those reasons. As much as I dislike him, he is still fun to watch.
And he had a really good year last year.
Yep. Number 3, Dame Dalla, absolute baller. I think this is another guy you could stick into like just unbelievably talented at basketball.
For sure, yeah.
Most of these point guards, I mean, that's the only reason they're 6'4" and in the NBA. It's because they're the most talented players in the world when it comes to, I mean, pure talent. These guys have it in bunches. But Damien Lillard, best long ball shooter in the league, which is crazy to say in a league with Steph Curry.
Yeah. But he is. He definitely is.
He's better than Steph Curry from that range. He's been better from Steph Curry in that range for like 3 years.
Ever since Curry got hurt, Dame was like, all right, now it's my time to show that I'm just better at this.
But Dame at number 3. I would love Dame actually would be higher if he ever won like a lot. He's had a couple deep runs in the playoffs, but not recently.
But he's too loyal, man.
Too loyal.
Like I like the loyalty.
Loyal to the soil.
There gets to a point where it's like, all right, you can maybe like go to a super team. Like,
you can request a trade.
You could go to the Clippers.
Yeah.
Actually, he can't go to because he's got beef with Paul George.
He can go anywhere but
you
Portland.
can go to Denver. Like,
that'd be a fun one. You can go to Detroit.
Yeah.
He could play in Detroit. He is Detroit.
Give it 2 years when the Pistons got a nice core, get Dame. But then we'd have to trade stuff for Dame, and then it's like,
we might as well trade Killian. I'm fine with Killian.
Yeah, Killian for Dame. Yeah, they'll accept that. Yeah, I would definitely be fine with trading Killian. You probably have to trade Cade Cunningham for Dame.
Facts. He's just gonna come here in free agency.
This one might upset some people, but I got Luka Doncic at number 3. And I will talk more about why I have Dame over him when I talk about Dame, but I'll talk about Luka for a sec. Luka has just been phenomenal ever since coming into the league. Since his rookie year, he's probably been a top 25 player in the NBA. I mean, he could have been an all-star, all-NBA player his rookie year, but year 2 and year 3, he was all-NBA first team, which is unreal in a league that is so guard dominant.
And he was 20 years old.
Yeah. Luka, the last 2 years, has made it to the playoffs and been very good in the playoffs. Like he's been phenomenal in both. He's only played against the Clippers in the playoffs, which is kind of funny. Hasn't beat them. The Clippers are obviously a really good team though, but Luka hasn't had much help either in Dallas. And it's not. I mean, I think some people do overreact to that because Luka is in his 3rd year in the NBA.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like it's they don't have to be a championship team already. But I do think that after the 2 years in a row of losing in the first round of the playoffs, changes do need to be made. But we'll see, what happens with Porzingis and them. But Luka is such a good offensive player. He plays so smooth. He's not that bad of a defender just because he's big. I mean, he's a big guy.
6'6".
Yeah, 6'6", 6'7". He's larger too. I mean, he's got muscle. But yeah, one of the best offensive players in the entire NBA. Can score, can facilitate. And he's probably, I'm pretty sure he's the MVP frontrunner for like odds wise this upcoming season.
That surprises me
because he's going to put up,
but I don't see them
crazy stats.
I see them being like the 7th seed.
Yeah, probably, but like
he's probably gonna have 35.
But think about
10
who
and
else.
10.
Yeah, think about who else is like in it. Like Jokic again, Giannis, Bron, Embiid.
He has to be a frontrunner.
Luka, yeah, Embiid probably is. Like that's
Steph,
yeah.
But Luka's
stats are gonna be crazy.
Yeah, Luka's my number 2. And holy moly, Luka's unreal offensively. I will say this. The system he plays in and the fact that he is surrounded by nobody does kind of benefit his stats. I mean, it definitely does.
Yeah. And he is surrounded by shooters, too, which at least they've done that.
You watch the playoffs, and Luka, literally the number 1 complaint watching the Mavericks was Luka has the ball too much.
Yeah.
Like, it's too obvious what you're doing.
He had the highest usage rate in the NBA, like, last year in, like, a long time.
Yeah, it was nuts. In the playoffs, he would have the ball every time they'd run a pick and roll. Every single time. And it was like, wonder what they're going to do next play. And I would love to see the system change where he is not so ball
Just
dominant.
another guard. Like, if Jalen Brunson can even emerge to be like he is a pretty good player already, but just to be like a even better player, I guess, to where he can start and be another ball dominant player to take some stress off of him, because that would just make him even more deadly because you have to worry about another guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same way like Steph and Clay benefit each other so much because it's like,
yeah, but Clay don't really dribble, though. I'm talking more like a guy who can run the offense type of guy. Yeah. Like a Damon CJ type thing.
Yeah. I got you. I know what you mean.
But yeah, Steph and Clay obviously do better.
You're number 2.
My number 2 is Damian Lillard. I had it last year, and I didn't do that just because I had it last year. But I think that, it's so hard, but I have Dame over him because of his his clutchness, I think. The fact that this dude, Dame Lillard, hit 2 buzzer beaters in the same freaking game against the Nuggets to send it to OT and to send it to double OT, had 55 points, like 9 assists in that game. It was like one of the best games. They have like a game score, how they do that. It was like a top 10 playoff performance of all time, which is crazy. Dame is such a clutch player. Obviously, he has 2 of the clutchest shots in NBA history in the playoffs. Unreal range, unreal scoring ability. I think he might even go off even more this year. I could see him average. I mean, he averaged 30 last year, but I could see him averaging 30 again. He's been top 5 in points per game the last 2 seasons. His playmaking is really up too. He averaged like 8.5 assists last year. And I just have him over Luka because I think his clutchness in the playoffs and his playoff performance is so unreal. And Luka's is too, but so is Dame.
Yeah, and I think Dame also has like the edge just for like the fact that he's been in the league for 10 years.
Yeah.
Like we only have 2 years of Luka. We've only ever seen him play in the playoffs twice.
Yeah.
And he's ran up against Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
We haven't seen him for more than a series. Yeah.
Like
throw him against Utah first round.
Yeah, like, please let me see him.
Can they upset? Utah might beat him though. I don't know.
But like, I'd like to see Joe Ingles or
give him a
Donovan
different.
Mitchell guard
just
him.
give him a different team to play. See if he can do it.
Kawhi Leonard doesn't.
What if they played the Clippers again? And
oh
lost?
my God, I'd hate it. I would hate watching that series because I've seen it so many times now, and it's gonna be the same outcome. Luka's gonna look good enough to beat him, and then it's just not gonna be enough.
Yeah, exactly.
My number 1 is obvious. It's Cade Cunningham. He's going to come in the league, be the number 1 point. No, it's Steph Curry. Steph Curry coming off an injury. He is still, he was MVP last year, MVP debate. Some people still think he should have been the MVP. Steph Curry.
If he wasn't the 8 seed, he probably would have won MVP.
If he was the 5 seed, he's winning MVP.
Probably.
Like, he was unreal.
Even though Jokic had it still had a crazy year, people sleep on him still.
Yeah, facts. People are still, like, people on our TikTok were like Embiid over. Like, I don't even consider that.
Like, dude, this dude Jokic averaged 26, 12, and 8.
Do you consider that? Like, do you even consider Embiid and Jokic? I don't think it's much of an argument.
Jokic over Embiid. But people that say Embiid, like, I don't say like that you're an idiot.
No, me either.
But I just think that Jokic is better.
I just don't think. Everything is always Embiid's rim protection.
Embiid's more. He's definitely a better defender.
But Jokic is the best offensive player in the league, other than Luka and KD.
Yeah.
Like I guess all around offense.
Yeah.
Like playmaking involved.
And Jokic is always the argument for Embiid was, he's a better scorer than Jokic. Jokic averaged 26 last year. Before
what more do you want?
The year before he averaged like 19. Like he could have won Most Improved Player last year. Like honestly. Embiid did up his scoring, though, to like 28 last year. But
anyways, top 10 point guards.
Well, I got to say my number 1. Why are we talking about centers?
That's what I was saying.
My number 1, Reggie Jackson. Obviously, he went off. No, Steph Curry at number 1. Pretty obvious. Not much else to say about him. He's still the best point guard in the NBA. He has been for several years. And I think he will be again after next year too. I
agree.
Unless Luka. No, Luka would have to do something wild to pass Steph, like win the championship
easily. I think next season, when we come back, and I'm putting this in the podcast, so when Skunkery listens, I think the top 5 is going to be 1 Steph, 2 Luka, 3 Dame, 4 Trae Young, 5 Kyrie Irving. That's my prediction for the next top 5.
I bet that one dude takes a huge jump. I bet like Fox or Ja is in the top 5.
They jump in
somebody
front
falls.
Wow.
Somebody like Kyrie or Chris Paul
or Trae Young. Trae Young could easily fall.
Maybe he just has like a shitty year.
Easily.
Yeah, like
a Jimmy
Ben
Butler
Simmons
year.
is back in the top 5.
Like a Jimmy Butler year. Just fall off. Like fall off a little bit.
Well, Simmons does have the highest ceiling, so he could be the number 1 point guard.
Oh, let's tell him about my prediction real quick. How I predicted Anthony
This dude predicted Anthony Davis to get hurt last year. Because I listened to our last top 10 point guards podcast, and it was like obviously like over a year ago. And how did we? Oh yeah, we're talking about how next season is going to be the greatest season ever, and then I'm like, somebody's going to get hurt though, and obviously a lot of people end up getting hurt. And you go, yeah, and it's Anthony Davis's time to get hurt. I was like, what?
And it happened to be true.
Yeah, it did happen to be true.
I will never predict an injury again.
No, give us right now. Who's getting injured next year?
No, like I won't. I don't want to. I'm too good. Yeah. Like I'll speak it into existence. I'll manifest it.
All right. When you hear us next, it will be doing our top 25 or top 30 players in the NBA. So
yeah. Well, maybe not. We might have a podcast in between.
Maybe. Yeah. We'll see. But that list is coming. So.
Yes, for sure. Peace.
Peace.